Hello, Michelle. I'm very glad to see you today in this very difficult situation for each country. And thank you that you gave our students the possibility to listen also the international opinion about the current situation. First of all, we collected some questions from our TourMODE group, from our project. And I would actually ask you each question from one group and ask you for your opinion.
Okay, yeah. But first of all, let's greet the TourMODE team, which I remember quite well from the European Ecotourism Conference time. Yeah. So, and I hope they are all safe. I think they will see this video. So, of course, I will answer your questions, Nata, which you have collected from the students. But first of all, let's greet them, and I hope they are all well, no matter where they are. I know that some are abroad, but most of them, they will be in Georgia, of course. So I cross fingers that all goes well. Yeah. Now we can start.
Okay. So the first question is I mean, you know, the most damaged industry in the world from this pandemic, I mean, world pandemic and the COVID-19 is the tourism industry. So do you see any other alternative industry from which the tourism can profit?
This is a valid question and not actually easy to answer, because tourism depends on visitors which come to a destination and consume, stay overnight, go on a hike, rent a horse and go through the mountains, taste some wines in Kakheti region and many other things. So asking me the question if tourism can jump on another boat, so to say, economically wise, there would be just one alternative actually to serve local people actually, and if we go for local products, then of course local people they need to eat, they need to drink, yeah. So with tourism can provide those things. So we have here in Germany all the restaurants, they are servicing outside of their restaurants right now. So you can order food and they bring it to your home. So this of course is a possibility. The hotels, actually, you can this sounds now really stupid, but you can hire a room for an hour just to get from your lockdown apartment with your family outside to have some silence for work, actually. For instance, for joining such a Zoom meeting. Yeah, so there are some hotels in my hometown which are doing this successfully. So renting the rooms for 1 hour, but for work. So yeah, this is funny, but it works actually. Yeah. So and they do this with all the hygienic standards which are necessary, of course, and. I don't see any difficulties with horse riding tours, but the tourists are not there, for instance, yeah, or kayaking tours somewhere on the lake, but the tourists are not there again. So some part of the value chain, so the products which we have in tourism, they will continue to suffer. Yeah. So and unfortunately, there are no alternatives. I don't see them right now. Yeah, and I hope we will be able to overcome the situation as quickly as possible. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I love the idea renting the room for an hour. It's like co-working spaces when you are just renting the table for an hour.
Exactly. Yeah.
The next question is, do you think that there was any country or a country in the world who was more or less ready for this this kind of situation and had any kind of plan already?
There were countries, yeah.
I mean, there are like several crisis management plans, you know. I mean, if you're depending so much on tourism, you have to have it. So, do you know, is there any?
Of course, there are countries which were more prepared than others. They were more clever, actually, in reacting to this pandemic situation. Not because they were facing more pandemic situations in the past like others, but the how to say, the government and the whole structure behind who needs to respond actually to this pandemic situation was more prepared. So they were thinking of, I still remember a speech of Barack Obama, the former president of the United States, who said, we need to prepare ourselves actually for situations we cannot imagine right now. So we need to have the health system in place. We need to have the infection test places in the correct place and all in the numbers. The hospitals needs to be equipped in such a manner, even if we cannot imagine that this would happen one day. So that's what he said, and then everything was shut down because of another elected president in the US. There are countries like Costa Rica, for instance, like Slovakia, for instance, and some others which seemingly were more prepared and were more clever actually in getting a discipline with their citizens actually in behaving in such a manner that the virus could not spread out so quickly actually, as in other countries like in Italy or Spain or in the United Kingdom, in England. Yeah, so, but this doesn't go for tourism. It's the entire country actually. Yeah, so you cannot prepare yourself properly to this because you never had it before. Of course, it was there before, like the Spanish flu. Yeah, directly after First World War, in 1918, 1920, and millions of people died, but we didn't learn so much about it. So this is the thing what human beings are not able to do, learn from the past, unfortunately.
Yes, I agree totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The next question is actually, what do you think, how important is that right now, according to the current situation, we know that the tourist behavior will change and the tourism trends will be new. So there are lots, I mean, the international experts are talking a lot about that. So the tourists in the future will travel in small groups and will go in more remote areas. So what do you think? It is reasonable for the government to think that right now to start to improve the infrastructure in less developed destinations or less popular destinations?
This is a bit dangerous because first you need to define what is infrastructure. I don't want to imagine that Georgia will be covered by highways, also through the mountains. Sorry, for instance, and that large hotels we will build in small villages and this kind of stuff. But if we talk about wise investment in infrastructure, so to put street lights into place, rescue points into place on long hikes, small accommodations like pensions will be supported, local supply chains will be supported. Then I fully agree with you. So that's especially now the government, not only in Georgia but in the entire Caucasus and many other places, should support local people in building up their products. Yeah. So and in building up the products, you need to have a certain infrastructure. Yeah, I fully agree with you with that. But be careful about the term infrastructure. Yeah, if you put it forward to the Georgian government, yeah, and say we need infrastructure all over our rural areas, yeah, then there will be money somewhere, and they will just do it, yeah, and build more airports and more this kind of stuff, and yeah, so that's why I would be very careful with this term.
Okay. I mean, you especially know what in Georgia means to build the tourism infrastructure. So, yes, I agree actually. So the next question is also, what do you think? How to start the tourism industry to improve their resilience, or start their resilience, and to start, I would say, restart his life or revitalize from this economic crisis or economic conditions what we have?
There's one important saying in tourism, that's a destination is as strong and resilient as it can rely on the domestic market. Yeah. So the more local people, let's say, or from the region you can host actually, compared with international numbers or arrivals in your destination, the better it is. Yeah. So this, of course, is not so easy in Georgia. So you have to see not only Georgia. You have to look at the Caucasus actually. Yeah, and there are quite significant numbers of visitors from Azerbaijan coming to Georgia. So I would call this even domestic tourism. Yeah, there might be some people who will not like what I say. Yeah. This is a cross-border travel, of course. It's counted international, and that's why this is one reason why Georgia has this significant increase in tourist arrivals. Yeah, statistically speaking. But yeah, it is important to build up the promotion and marketing for domestic consumption actually, and this of course needs to go line in line with increase of income of people in Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, so that they can allow themselves to travel, yeah, and have the money actually not only at the weekend to stay at home, but to travel within Georgia. Here and there, yeah, not only the Tbilisi people or Kutaisi people or Batumi people, but all others. Maybe they want to travel. So, and if you have this kind of a resilient situation, then you can build also on international arrivals. Yeah, then this is an added value actually. Yeah. That you count on international tourists, because you never know. You might remember the eruption of this Iceland volcano a couple of years ago. Yeah. So and most of the air traffic was shut down. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see, it's has not to be a pandemic. Yeah. It can be a local war. It can be an international war, it can be a pandemic, it can be a volcanic eruption, it can be an earthquake here or there. Yes, it can be anything actually. Yeah, so the tourism supply system is so vulnerable internationally. Yeah, that if you have a tourist attack in Egypt, that the whole northern African countries are suffering from rapidly decreasing tourist arrivals. Not only Egypt, yeah, but also Morocco and the other countries which are the northern tip of African continent. Yeah, just an example. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when there was the war in Serbia, Bosnia, and so forth. Nobody was going to Slovakia because they thought Slovakia is Slovenia. Albania is at the northern tip of the war border at that time. Yeah. So, and misspelling the name and thinking this country is actually another one, yeah, leads to the fact that Slovenia had a decrease of 60% of tourist arrivals, but it was far away from that war area. Yeah, just to give you some examples. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I mean, yeah. And the last question, actually. What do you think? This is specific, the question for Georgia, because we know that, you know quite well Georgian tourism, because you had conducted a lot of projects here in Georgia. So if we consider the tendency of decreasing the numbers in the Georgian industry, so what do you think, where will be the range or the point when we will start to again to revitalize and go in the positive numbers?
You want to have a date or a month or a year?
No, I mean the time frame. I mean the time frame. Like, for example, a lot of people are talking about that 12 months we will be, even if the current situation will be, I would say, very positive. I mean, we'll go along the very positive, and we will have, we will stay as a green zone in a COVID era, because we have only 9 deaths, and we have also not so really significant numbers of infected people. Still, I mean, the national experts are talking, some of them are talking about the 12 months of, how would say, 12 months of time out for international travel.
Yeah, it depends where you are, actually. So, and yeah, Georgia is in a good situation because, as I said, the death rates are pretty low and infection rate is pretty low. And all hope that thing reported Georgia with all the tests and the infection rates, but you never know, because looking at Russia, for instance, there are almost no data available. Yeah, what is going on over there, or in Belarus. Belarus says they are completely free from COVID-19, and nobody believes that. Yeah, so what shall we say? And if they open up the borders, Belarus to Poland, and start traveling all over with infected people, so then you have good times, you know. So that's why I agree with your experts saying 12 months is a good period. And after 12 months, yeah, so that means start summer 2021. Actually, we can think about gaining back significant numbers of arrivals. But this will only then happen if people behave in all the countries from now on. Yeah. So, because if there's the second wave will come anyway, yeah, of this pandemic. Yeah, so if second wave comes more aggressively as the first one, the lockdown in all the countries will more intense than during the first period. Yeah,
and this is
now at the moment
right now.
Yes, yeah. So it's up to us, each of us, actually. Yeah. In Germany, we are opening the restaurants, opening the campgrounds.
Hello?
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So because we have governmental elections, the government is opening up restaurants and campgrounds and a lot of tourist facilities on the 3rd of May here, not next year. Yeah. So this is a big danger, of course. Yeah. So, and we have to observe carefully how it will go. Yeah. And Malta, for instance, is opening its one airport. They have just one airport, end of December this year. So they will not allow any incoming tourists before January 2021. So they are very careful, yeah, because it's an island, you know.
Yeah.
So just to give you some examples, yeah. So I agree, again, I have to repeat with your experts that a 12 months period from now is a pretty good calculation. In the case we all behave and stay disciplined within this 12 months. Yeah.
Okay, good. Michael, thank you very much for your time, because I know you're pretty busy right now in this period. I mean, yes, we are, all of us are in lockdown at home, but we are working.
Yes.
And I hope that next year, at least, we will have a chance to host you at TourMODE personally, so that we can sit at the round table and we can talk all about these kind of issues. And at the workshop.
That would be nice. Yeah. Thank you, Nata, and
thank you.
Send my greetings to all of your colleagues.
I will do it. Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.